Today's video, I wanted to show you guys a tutorial on how you can create your own web application, your own website, just by using the English language, not knowing any coding. If you don't have any technical experience, that's fine. I'm going to show you kind of the tech stack that I use and how I create a bunch of different websites and deploy them. So you're going to need a few things to start. The first thing is a GitHub account. This is my account here. That's completely free. You don't need anything for that. Then the next thing is a Cursor account, and then you'll download the Cursor app. Cursor is basically a code editor with AI baked into it. So you can pay for the pro plan if you're going to use it a lot, but there's a free plan which you can get some usage out of if you just want to try it out. And then the next thing is Vercel. Vercel is how you're going to host your website, and again, there's a free plan for Vercel as well. I pay for that because I host a lot of different websites, but you can get away with the free plan for both of these if you're just getting started. So the first thing you're going to do is go to GitHub, and then we're going to create a new repository. So github.com/new, and then you're going to create a repository. For this example, let's just say you have a YouTube channel and you want to set a website where people can book one-on-one coaching with you. So for the repository name, we'll just say YouTube channel website here. And then we'll just make it a public repository. And then we'll just say create repository. And then we will see this here, quick setup if you've done this thing before. And then you're just going to copy this here, this git at github.com. And then in Cursor, you're going to say clone repo and then paste that URL. Then you will choose a file location. I'm just going to use this volume here. You can use your desktop or wherever is easy for you to access. And then you'll say select as repository destination and then open. And then now this is the GitHub repository here in Cursor. Okay, now that we're in Cursor, we have the chat here. You can choose different agents if you have the different plans. There's GPT-5, Claude, things like that. These are really good. I'm just going to use Auto for now just because we're building something pretty simple. So in the chat, we'll just say build me a website for my YouTube channel. We'll say work, save Bitcoin. I want to offer one-on-one coaching with a calendar link to book with me. I can teach people about Bitcoin basics, best practices, and more. I like to use next.js. I've found it's very robust and great for creating applications. So I'm going to say use the next.js stack and configure the app to deploy easily with Vercel. And then that's pretty much it. We'll just hit enter and then let it do its thing. Cursor's really cool. I've used it a lot. I used to just use like other when I was first started doing this, just using ChatGPT and kind of going back and forth, but this is a game changer having the code editor baked in with AI. Super nice, super helpful. So it's going to start building out our project and I'll come back when it's done. A couple other things I forgot to mention. You're going to need a couple things installed on your computer. You will need the npm node package manager as well as the GitHub command line. I can create further tutorials on doing that, but if you just look up, how to get npm running on your computer, how to get the GitHub command line set up, then You should be set for this. I forgot to mention that just because I already do a lot of development on here, so I already have that set up. But if you need help setting that up, want another tutorial, just let me know down in the comments and we can do that. But here we have, it says the website is fully functional and ready for deployment. So here we go, next steps to customize, blah, 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 set up Calendly. So there's a placeholder URL for Calendly. You can just create a link, give it to it, and then it'll replace that. And then it gives us instructions for deploying to Vercel. So we can test our website locally on our computer. We'll just start by using npm install. That will install any dependencies that this project may have. That is the first step. And then we will do npm run dev to actually run the application on our local computer to test it out. So the install is going. There we go. And yeah, you can see all of the code here. You can click on any of it, edit any of it yourself if you'd like to. Yeah, all the code is here. So that's pretty cool. That's a little bit about how Cursor works. Let's just wait for the install to finish and test the application, and then I'll show you how to deploy it. So that is done. Let's just say npm run dev. That will start our application. Here we go. It'll compile all the files needed to serve to the browser. And here we go. So localhost 3000 is where this will running. So if you just control or command click on this, it will bring up the website. So yeah, it's all here. So yeah, here's the website that it created. It looks pretty good to me, pretty robust. And yeah, you can give it any feedback. Just type in the chat, you know, change this color, change this text. I don't like this section, replace it with this. It's pretty responsive to any input you may have. But yeah, here's our website. It looks really good. You can have a link to your YouTube channel, you know, about all these different sections. And yeah, book coaching, again, you can replace that with your real link. And you can, there's so much you can do with this too. You can accept payment through a Calendly link. That might be a little easier, but you can also integrate payments yourself directly from your website. If you use something like Square or Stripe, they have APIs you can use to accept payment yourself through your own website. You can also integrate Bitcoin payments into your website using the Speed API or something else set up there. But yeah, this is a little bit, we'll deploy the application as well. But yeah, I'd love to hear in the comments if you want to see any more tutorials on this, like how we could expand on this. But yeah, so we'll just go to Vercel now. And so it's connected to our GitHub account already. So we can already see here, YouTube channel website is ready for us to import. Then framework preset, we will use next.js. Root directory, that's fine. And yeah, environment variables will be important if you have any like API keys, things like that you need for your website to work. But for now, this is just a simple landing page. So we'll just hit deploy. One thing I forgot here, we need to actually push the code to GitHub. There's a couple ways to do this. I just like using the command line because it's easier. I think you might just be able to connect Cursor directly to GitHub instead of installing the GitHub command line tools. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that would be something to look into. But yeah, if you click like here, it'll show like your GitHub branches, things like that. So yeah, maybe just ask the chat how to set that up if you don't have it already. But for now, for time's sake, we will just use GitHub command line. So we'll use git add dash uppercase A to just add all our files to GitHub's tracking, version tracking. Then we'll say git commit, committing all of our files, and then you'll just say a message within quotes. So we'll just say initial commit, setting up website, close quotes, enter, and then we will say git push origin main. That will push all of our code to GitHub. It should be there now. So now we are able to hit deploy. Oh, it says the project already exists, so it must have created it the first time already. So let's go here. So the project already exists, so we just go to our list of projects and see it here. It looks like there was an error in deployment. It looks like just some syntax errors. So we'll just copy the error message. We're going to paste that error message in here. I like to just add like some lines so it differentiates what I pasted versus what my message is. So I'll just say we got a deployment error. Can you test the build locally before pushing changes? So it should fix those syntax errors pretty easily, and then we'll be able to push the code again, and hopefully it should rebuild successfully. And it's going to ask us permission to run a terminal command on our behalf. We'll just say run. So it's going to test the build locally so we won't have this issue again. And if there's any build errors like we saw here, then it'll catch those before deploying again. So that'll be helpful. So it looks like there's still a couple syntax errors with TypeScript. So it's going to fix those. So once again, run. So it looks like the build was successful this time, which is good. So we should be able to go ahead and push the code once again. So we'll just go through these commands again: git add, git commit, git push. And that will automatically trigger a new deployment on Vercel. So that's the cool thing about Vercel that I like, is it connects directly to GitHub. So for your project, anytime you do git push origin main, it will automatically create a new deployment. And if you want to have test deployments, you don't want to update your site every time you want to test new features. You will create a different branch within GitHub, like develop. And so that will create a separate deployment where you can test new changes on an actual server, which is nice. And then you don't have to push those updates to deployment to the production deployment if you have a lot of people using your website and you don't want to push experimental features on them. I can make a video again, like I said, on GitHub versioning, if that's something that would be interesting. But here we go. Our deployment is finally successful, and it will create a domain here with the Vercel at the end. You can still use a custom domain for your website. If you purchase a domain, it's pretty easy to connect it through Vercel to your website. So here we go. So youtube/channel/website.vercel.app, and here's our website. So it's up and running. Again, the book links won't work yet just because we don't have an actual calendar link, but it's all here, and that's how easy it is to build a website in under 30 minutes it took me. It might take you a little longer if this is your first time doing something like this, but once you perfect the process, it's really easy to deploy new websites. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm really close to hitting monetization on this channel. I'm just about 100 watch hours away. So if you enjoyed this content and want to support, I'd greatly appreciate it if you leave a like on the video, share it with someone who might find this interesting, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.